All right. It looks like I kind of messed up earlier. By the way, man, you know me. If it ain't messed up, it ain't me.
I'm
So
with you on that. I embrace it.
besides the picture, that's a we're live by the way. So I don't know. I just let you know that we're live. But the first thumbnail that AI made of us was not really a good thumbnail.
That was a great thumbnail. What are you talking about?
We'll leave it at that. We'll
I,
leave it at
I
that.
was coming out of court over in Fort Worth. I was coming out of court when you sent me that, and I felt like that guy Rampage Jackson. He's like, man, you turned me into what? That's funny. I loved it.
I I started dying laughing. So for everybody that's watching, first of all, yo, what's going on YouTube? It's Josh and Mr. Eric Love Big Juicy. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Man, if we are live in the comments, let me know we're live because I haven't used this setup in over a year, this software, and I'm not 100% sure that. Ooh, I've got some feedback now. Looks like we're live. Cool. But yeah, so what happened was this morning, I go into ChatGPT and I say, okay, I'm gonna do everything nice and early. I'm gonna plan ahead of time. I'm a Eric's locked in. He's good for tonight. Cool. Let's go with Eric. And I put in ChatGPT. I said, hey, we're gonna do a live stream with Eric Love tonight. Make me a thumbnail. And before I added your picture to it, it automatically made an assumption and it spit out an image for me of what I apparently had thought you were, and it
Looks
definitely
like
wasn't
Ram.
you.
Looks like Rampage. Yeah, looks like Rampage Jackson.
It was, it was insane. It was pretty funny. I started dying laughing, and
I
then
loved it.
oh my gosh, I had to send it to you, man, because that's the kind of thing. And then I put the wrong time because last year we used to do it at 7 o'clock, and this year we're doing it at 8. All kinds of stuff. It even had the wrong date, but whatever. We're here. It doesn't matter. What's up, man? Nice to see you again.
We're here, man. We're here. Not much. I tell you what, I'm pretty excited. The first year that you started, right? The first year that you started the Dumpster Expo, right?
Uh huh.
The first year, man, it was great. The second year, it was wonderful. And each time it's gotten bigger and bigger. It literally, when you told me where it was going to be this year, I said, this guy has done, yeah, I'm telling you, you're killing it. You
I'm
really
stoked.
are killing it, man. I'm real proud of you.
Well, appreciate that. But definitely not just me. It's a whole bunch of us that are behind it. But it's always just kind of like, I don't know. If you're gonna do the same shit twice, what's the point of doing it? You know what I'm saying? So I kind of just gotta figure out how to just kind of do one step up. I don't know what we're gonna do next year. I'm not doing anything extra next year. It's a lot, but uh, yeah, yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Man, I don't know what, but I'm afraid to say that to you. I'm afraid to say, nah, you can't do this. This is like a Super Bowl size. You can't, there's nothing bigger. And then you'd surprise me with something bigger. So I'm not even going to say it. And, I've met so many great people at those events that have become, personal friends on social media. And I get to see them every year. So I love it.
Yeah. No, and so I mean, this space, as long as we continue to do it here, it gives us space to grow, plenty of room. Because honestly, the infield's massive. Like I don't know if you've been in the infield of Texas Motor Speedway. This was the first time I've ever been there, and when I went under
Oh,
that
yeah.
bridge and drove into the infield, I was like, "Holy crap! This place is way bigger than I imagined." And I think a lot of people who haven't been there before are going to see the same thing. But it gives us plenty of room to grow. We're going to have probably 50 trucks there, 50, 60
It's
trucks easily,
incredible.
and it's going to look small. So, or our show's going to look small compared to the size so it gives us room to grow for a few years. So, but yeah, I brought you on
That's
because I want to
okay.
talk to you.
That's okay. It's going to be awesome. I'm really pumped.
Definitely, me too, me too. So I want to talk about Eric Love, Eric the man, Eric that I've known for years and years and years. I want to know the story of Eric Love. What is the brand behind Eric Love? That's one thing that we've been talking a lot about. I talked to a lot of guys about branding. I know Richard Rollins. Some people love him, some people might not or enjoy him or whatever. But the guy has built a hell of a brand, and nobody can dispute that. And as you said right before we went live, it's a brand basically from zero to an international recognized brand right now. So you've built your own brand. Let's talk about Eric. Let's talk about Big Juicy. Let's talk about Fort Worth Famous. What is Eric Love? What's it all about, man?
So I don't know if it's on my end or your end, but it's sounding like you're speak Pekingese to me.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
cutting out like you're frozen right now. So I don't know if it's on your end or my end.
Uh oh. That's not good. I can hear you
I don't
just
know.
fine.
No, okay, you're real clear.
Okay.
Okay, don't move.
Okay.
Don't move, because right there I can see you perfect. You're, but it seems like something's coming in and out. So, I had an English bulldog named Big Juicy. It's so stupid. It's funny. I turned it into kind of a person with a personality, and I would give out my coins to people. I turned a instead of handing out a paper business card, get a coin, and they always liked it because I like picking up the tab, especially if we eat. And I always say, they said they'd fight over it. And I say, man, you're going to be able to leave here with a ticket that the dog, I don't have any money. My dog had a lot of money. And luckily he left it to me in his passing, the way it was set up. But I love my dog, and it's opened a lot of doors that it probably shouldn't have opened because it's so stupid. But I have an absolute love for my dog. Everybody likes, when I ran for mayor, and I've got all these signs, all over the place. I just turned him into a person because it's more of a something passionate for me, and I allow him. I don't like to be the person to give somebody something to help them out. I'd rather the dog do it, and it's kind of a more of a story, and it's funny, and man, I'm fixing to. I'm making sure my Dodge Charger is wrapped just for the event at Texas Motor Speedway. I'm going to wrap it like my Cadillac. So I'm making sure that I'm trying to, stay in your circle where, hey, I'm almost as big as Josh now.
No. So are you not bringing the Cadillac? Gonna bring the Charger?
I might. I mean, it's a 2 day event. I might, depending on the weather. See, when you get
Yeah.
old like me, you got to have an air conditioner.
Yeah.
And I got a great. My son's great. He said, I'm buying these new cars. Do you want this car? It's a 2019 Dodge Charger. It's loaded, and I'm like, what are you going to do with it? He said, just take. I don't need it. Just you can have it. I said, wait a minute. I'm wrapping this one. He said, I don't care. So here we are. Yeah, here we are. So I'm pretty excited. Depending on the weather, I like having that other car because man, 105 today, and I had to go to two court places, and it makes it a little easier too.
Dude, it was crazy hot. I think down by me it was about 120 heat index in Corsicana and this area. It was nuts. It was way too hot.
And, hey, I'm going to tell you something. One thing I have absolutely, and I love going. Doesn't matter if it's federal or state court cases. When I saw that you filed, man, that gets a whole nother geek in me out because I like fighting the system. And I got a lot of respect for you on that one. You are really making some waves on the way these cities have set up these. I like to call them a dynamic practice because it's only dynamic and fruitful for those folks. And there's some under the table stuff. I don't want to say it every city, but I'm going to cheers to the majority of the cities. There's some
Yeah.
backsiding.
No, and I actually did my own first public records request of Midlothian. I don't want to mess with Waxahachie because I'm letting the attorneys handle all of Waxahachie. That's the city that we're suing. So I don't want to make any waves. But I did
Yeah.
an open records request in Midlothian, and I got back I think 34 documents that they sent me, and it's just crazy the way that it actually works. Um, they are getting pictures from the other dumpster company, from the big conglomerate companies. There's literally pictures from drivers that they're sending of other dumpsters, and they're contacting the city. They're contacting the city, and they're saying, "Hey, send the inspectors out to this job site and put a stop work order until they remove those dumpsters and put our dumpsters on that job site." They're dictating what the city does and what doesn't do. And I've got it all in email. I've got emails. I've got the proof. It's all on the website now. We've uploaded. We've got a whole new
Yeah.
website that we're putting all this stuff in. It's crazy. I'm
And
sorry, the connection.
you take a city employee, you're now turning him into a what? You're now turning him into a watchdog for the city on their behalf. That's illegal. That's wrong.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
So I'm glad you're pursuing that.
So
Real
yeah,
glad.
man. I took a page out of your book, man, because I've seen you've been doing some crazy stuff too, man. And what were you doing in Bedford?
Well, so I have noticed that there are a ton of politicians, local, state, federal, all of them. I ask them a question. I go to all the town hall meetings. If you are elected, what can you guarantee me or anybody else in this room accessibility to you? And you know what they say? Oh, my door is always open, blah, blah, blah. Well, today was a great day because I went through the normal channels like a normal person would go, and I got nowhere. I said, I'm going to turn the heat up. So I texted the elected official and said, now this is a county issue. I texted this elected, highly elected official. He sure didn't mind taking my big checks. I don't mind helping people get elected, right? If
Mm-hmm.
if you like them, and if you like them, I'm going to help them. But if you try to contact them, and remember, I asked them that question: what do you guarantee on accessibility to me or any other person that votes for you, or someone that didn't vote for you? And they all say the same thing. Well, I went ahead and texted that person today and he didn't answer me. I said,
Mm.
okay, I'm going to go over here. So I went to another person that they like taking the checks. And the other person answered me immediately. And he said, man, good to hear from you, Mr. Juicy. What can I do for you?
Mm.
And I told him, and in 5 seconds, I had a return piece of information. Okay. That's all I needed. I said, you might want to text this person. We know we all know each other. Let him know there's no more checks. I'm not going to help anybody. If the average citizen has zero, and when I say zero, test it. Go down and see if you can see your local person that you elected. It's pretty hard. Now, a lot of them like me just because of my involvement in the community, but I made it real clear, even on a text message. I said, hey, you might want to print this out. I'm going to support whoever is against you. I don't care. And he still hadn't answered.
Mm.
And I know that he knows because another person called and said, he's kind of in a hot seat on some stuff. It doesn't matter. His office is not performing. So I do like the fact that you put some accountability to the business side of what a city does. So I think that you've done a great job with that. And those Freedom of Information Act requests, city open records requests, whatever you want to call it, it's the same thing. I can bury, and you've seen me talk about it. I can literally bury a city because they have 10 days to respond. And the biggest push of requests I put out in 1 week was about 600 to one city.
Golly,
And they called and said, can we have a meeting? Okay.
that's insane. I mean, yeah. Uh, they took longer than 10 days, and I pushed on them a little bit. And this the day that I pushed on them said, "Hey, it's been 14 business days since you've received my request. My next step will be the Texas Attorney General's office and making a complaint." And very quickly, um, they sent me the same day all my requests that I sent them, all the
I,
PDFs. So very interesting how that
I
works, man.
feel sorry for the average citizen that doesn't know.
Sorry, we're
I
just
really do
delayed.
feel sorry for the average citizen that really doesn't truly know their rights. And if you know your rights and you understand certain components of government, they have 10 days. Anything over 10 days, you go straight to Ken Paxton's office or whoever's in office at the time, the attorney general. You can get some pretty quick business handled.
Well, what's crazy now, and so here's the thing though, like I don't know that kind of stuff. I mean, you've got years of experience in that kind of stuff. This is something new to me, but we all have AI nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like I rely a lot, sometimes not a lot, but I would say I go on to AI and I say, hey, look, like this is what I'm going through. This is what's going on. What should I do, or how do I? And literally, it walked me through how to do the open records request, how to do the what the 10-day limit was, and when I should follow up, and what steps I should do. So nowadays, I mean, we all have access to that. It's just use the tools that are available to you. But no, it's It's really interesting. I even got the contract between the city, and I know exactly what the city. I mean, it's public record. I mean, the city's getting a 10% kickback on the gross revenues of
That's right.
all the trash revenue, all the trash. I'm talking about your trash pickup, your dumpsters, your construction, your recycling. They're getting 10% off the gross, and on top of that, they're getting every single city facility, every single city event, festivals, parades, you name it, everything is 100% free trash. On top of that, so it's a I think in 2019 is the last time for
It's
some reason they were
organized
able to give me
crime,
numbers.
man.
100%. I mean, we're talking $500,000 just in
Yeah.
kickbacks plus some. For one town. Imagine every single city around here. But anyways, that's a whole nother spiel.
Yeah.
Um, but no, back to you again. I want to talk again. You're a heck of a. You've become kind of a. I don't know. It's pretty cool because everybody's like, "Hey, is Eric coming back again? Eric coming back?" And I'm like, "Heck yeah, man! I got Eric's coming back." Like you make the show what it is, man. So I appreciate you being there and being a part of it. But I still wanted to talk a little bit more about your old. You were a police officer in Fort Worth. Is that correct?
I was a
Oh
Tarrant
man.
County Sheriff Patrol Sergeant.
Okay. So what was give me the history
So I
to
was Tarrant
now.
County. All right, all right. I'm gonna give you my elevator pitch. I started out in back in the 1980s. Right, I started out right out of high school. Went to work at the sheriff's department. Man, and I learned something. I wasn't very good in school, so I know I wasn't good. I know I was not going to go to college, and I always had a problem with this. I talked too much, not too much, but I talked enough, I should say. Okay, and I learned from watching other people succeed and fail. I knew that people like someone that had an edge to them, but could also work with everybody. So I really worked on that. Made sergeant. I was the youngest sergeant ever promoted at 23 over the transportation division. Then I went out to patrol, extradition. I just had the best time. And then I get a phone call, and a person was starting a company. And she said, Stephanie Point, she said, man, if you'll come with me, I think we can make a lot of money. I need somebody that can talk and build relationships, and you're great at that. Do you want to be rich? And I had to think about that for about 2 seconds because I was paying 1,300 a month in child support. I lived in a shitty apartment that I was a courtesy officer at, and I had one stick of furniture. And I said, the dream sounds better than what I'm living. So here we go. Went to work at Point to Point, became the vice president. We sold in 2019 for 50 million. Stephanie sold it, and she was very gracious to me as the first employee. And that's allowed me just to, I'm doing this thing in my underwear and flip flops right now. Okay. I got a shirt on. I've literally been outside of court today. I'm in my underwear and my t shirt. It's allowed me to do a lot of fun stuff like towards, I don't want to say the end of my life, but in the slower days of my life, it's allowed me to really get to do the things that I always wanted to do and really get to become the person that I always wanted to become. I wanted to become someone that could help people. And I've learned that it's great to help people, but if you don't have a wallet, you're pretty restricted. And, I was blessed enough that Stephanie gave me the opportunity and really, really blessed my life in that work. Um, for the last 6 years, I mean, like, I've got the tiger back here on the wall. So I do a lot of social justice. Um, Everybody watched the Tiger King during the pandemic. Joe and I became friends. I wrote him a letter and said, "Look, I'd like to write a presidential pardon for you." Um, we formed a friendship, and then he started calling me. We talked, and he said, "I have no money." I said, "Well, you're in luck because I got a little bit now." So I'll bankroll the whole thing. We did that. We filmed on Netflix, Court TV. It was just a ball. Went and trolled the White House in a double decker bus, took a jet up there. We wrapped it. I like doing things big. I guess that's why I really have a great love for you because whenever I needed limousines, we thought that he was getting the pardon. I call you. What'd you do? You delivered me the best limousine in the fleet with a driver on standby. And man, I'm just having the time of my life. I talked to Joe today. He's halfway through his original sentence.
Hmm.
And, he said, Eric, I don't have any place to go if I get out early. I said, yeah, you do. So I've done the paperwork, and so when he gets out, he's coming here. I'm going to be his handler, and then we'll figure out where he goes from here. But man, I tell you what, me and you both know we've had a fun life. We've had a long friendship, and I think at the end of the day, when you are around like-minded people and everybody has a driven goal, I like getting surprised, and I've watched you do so many different things. I like cheering it on from the sidelines. I like being a part of it, and I think it's just the best time in life, man. We're not here for long. Get out and do something, right? We're not here for long. Leave your mark. You're doing a good job on that, man.
Shoot, I'm not the one who's been on TV shows and a winner of what was that name of the show that you were on?
I got to tell you, man, I did. I won the Hustler, and and the thing about it was I couldn't even tell my wife. They said you can't tell anybody because if it gets out and they get word that you've had a conversation. I didn't tell my wife. I went to Hollywood. They gave me a great treatment. I went and won a game. I won $70,000. It took me a whole hour, and then I came home. My wife said, "Hey, how was it?" I said, "No, it was fine." How was it? I said, "It was fine." No, I mean, I'm curious. How was it? I said, "I had the time of my life." That aired January. That aired in January of 2019 or 2021, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I had
Yeah,
I
so
had the time of my life doing that.
yeah, I remember us texting. You were texting back and forth. You're like, I can't say anything about it, but you just need to watch it or something like that. I think you told me. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. When Eric's involved in whatever Eric's involved in, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be fun to watch. So same likewise, man. So we met back in I think I moved when I first moved here in 2007 is when I hooked up with Point to Point a little bit, and it was a very short little part. But that little time that we were there, I think we did a couple gold diamond runs,
Yeah,
and that was what was there was a when we say diamond runs there was a Zales. I don't even know what they did there. They checked the purity of the diamonds, and then we had to go every single day and go get an estimate or how much they were worth down the street or something like that.
yep, yep.
That was a long time ago. That
It
was
was
20
like
years ago.
and these little cases were like ammo boxes, and there'd be six, 700,000 in it, and they got me and you, moving it around. And yeah, the same place that sells the diamond can't grade the diamond. That's a Federal Trade Commission type rule or law. So we have to pick it up at Zales. We'd have to take it over and have it graded. And every day we moved in my tenure with that company and that contract, we moved over $6 billion in diamonds.
That's insane.
Who the who the hell's buying those diamonds?
Yeah, that was
I
insane. And
mean,
there was some
all
there was some like gang out of Mexico that weren't they didn't they rob some guys down in Houston or something like that? But there was a gang in Mexico that was like holding these guys up doing these diamond runs.
we had a diamond run. Of course, we had diamond runs every day all over the country, and I had off-duty officers working them. And there was an off-duty officer down in Houston, and he was a cop just struggling, and we paid better than anybody else. So he was working, and I'll never forget. I get a phone call from a ambulance, and it was an EMT, and he said, "Is this Mr. Love at Point to Point?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I have your officer. He's been wounded in a shooting." And I'm thinking, holy, I have to look. I've got a whole board of all over the country, and I look, and I'm like, oh man, not this guy. Single fob, like a great human. He wants to talk to you. Well, that's good news, right? And he gets on the phone and he says, "Hey man, they did not get the diamonds." I said, "Who cares about the diamonds? We got insurance for that. Are you okay?" And he said, "Man, they shot me in the upper thigh." And he said, "Almost shot off my man part."
Mm,
And I couldn't stop laughing because he found humor in that moment and luckily it was like a through and through wound, but he got shot with a 45, and he was sitting in the driver's seat. And they came up and smashed the windows and just started shooting in. Got him one time. And man, I mean, I look back on my pictures all the time of different things that we did, celebrity stuff. You took care of the Super Bowl when it was in Dallas.
hmm.
We had some fun contracts, man.
Yeah,
We had some good times, man.
yeah, it was
Really
good
did.
times.
I miss them.
Yeah, yeah, it was good
Yeah,
times.
I miss them.
It was fun, and the craziest thing was like that was my first job, and that was my last job. Like I didn't really ever, well, other than the police department, when I was 18 as a police aide, but like I had a company beforehand, a security company, in which I came and I met with you, and I'll never forget it. You and Stephanie were at the hotel. No, it wasn't. It was no. I'm sorry. It was Mike and Stephanie. That's what it was. It was Mike and
Mike
Stephanie. I didn't
West.
meet you to right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And I was like, they're not gonna hire me. They made me go through this long ass process, and I was like, I'm not even gonna go to the interview. And actually, it was one of the best.
Hey,
Like, it was fun. It was a good time. It was cool. But yeah, and
hey,
then
listen, I was just as shocked you got hired too. I was just as shocked.
like, who the hell is this guy? What kind of experience does he have? Oh my goodness. No man.
What a dick.
Oh man, it's all good. That's why I love you, man. But no, what else do we got? Let's go through some comments real quick. See who's in here. It's kind of a quiet night. I think. Let's see here. What's up, Elite? He's the one that texted me because I messed up with 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock. But what's going on, Elite? Excited to be here. He says, local waste. What's up, man? Guy in Florida. You love this dude. This guy, these two guys that I just mentioned, this last year, you probably remember them. But at the pre-mixer, which you got to come to the pre-mixer this time. We're doing it at the Big Shots. If you got time, come on, bring your wife, man. Thursday
Okay.
night. Thursday night, 6 to 9. We're doing the pre-mixer.
Big
Uh,
shots.
yeah, it's like the Top Golf, but the other one. It's right there by Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I know. Right, yeah, right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
absolutely.
think we've got in the entire third floor. So we've rented out the entire third floor for the pre-mixer. Should be a good time. But those guys last year they dressed up, and who did you guys dress up as? They were dressed. I don't know the movie, but I know it's some movie. The one was wearing an orange suit with a top hat and a cane. The other guy was wearing like a light blue.
Oh,
Is it
they were the
Dumb and
Dumb and
Dumber?
Dumber dudes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dumb and Dumber.
Yes.
They came in and just, oh my gosh, I almost tried to hide in a corner, but they were freaking hilarious. I love those dudes. Good times, man.
There's a
Let's
lot
see.
to be said. Hey, there's a lot to be said for just embracing. Hey, who cares?
Yeah,
Nobody knows them here, right? Except this group. I like that myself. I do.
just having a good time. Just having a good
Yeah.
time. Because that's what I mean in this industry too, man. And it's, you said it like there's. I came from the limo industry. The biggest. I don't know, man. I don't know if all other industries are like that, but dude, there's some real like assholes. Like just kind of like really kind of looking down on people. You got stretch limos. Oh, we got corporate cars and coach buses. We don't. You're not a real limo guy because you got stretch limos. It's just they were all. It was very. I don't know. I didn't really like that industry. 16 years, and I was happy to.
Well, I loved you in that industry because I got like the best cars. Like I did like airplane. I mean, nobody else had the airplane doors. Uh, taking that. I like that Dodge Ram truck, taking that up there. And I'll tell you, like my wife's birthday that time, I said, I don't know if I want to do a stretch or a party bus. And you said, let me take a bus. You've not taken one of the buses. We took this huge bus. It was perfect. I mean, I had the best time.
Yeah, I used to
And I
send me
had the,
videos
like, it
too.
was
That's
the
kind of cool.
best time.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
loved it.
The best. Just the
That
best.
that was it was fun doing that kind of stuff, but they did always have their issues, their breakdowns, their tires, their drivers, and air conditioning. Air conditioning was a big mess. Especially, I mean, imagine I would be losing my mind this week with it being 120. I don't care how good your air conditioning is in a limo or a bus like that. It's 105, 120, like real 105 degrees, not
Yeah.
heat index. And then people want to go in and out, and they let the heat in.
Yeah.
It's just, and then they wanted to feel like an ice cooler in there. But but no, when I came into this industry, it's like this is my people's. Like we it's just the blue collar. Just everybody just kind of networks and gets along. So, anyways, that's what it's all about, really. And those guys were having a good time last year. Let's see here. A lot of people.
I do think that I think that the networking side, while you're looking at questions, I think the networking side of your event, man, I think it's so good because you see people that, oh, I didn't know that they did that. Oh, I didn't understand. When somebody says, hey, I'm going to go into the dumpster business, um, the first thing that comes up that's expensive is insurance. I say you better know somebody that knows that particular that knows that industry, because if you get the wrong person that doesn't know the industry, you're going to pay the top dollar. And
Hmm.
I think that that's great when you have professionals that do just that industry. Man, I think it's invaluable. I think it's wonderful.
How do you? I'm kind of curious on how you feel. You and Stephanie, if you, I'm sure, I know you talk to her still, and you guys are really good friends. But do you guys feel that you sold at the right time? Do you guys feel that you exited at the right time? Do you feel that, or do you kind of like, man, we can, if we would have held out another 5, 10 years, we could have, who knows what we could have sold for? Is there any kind of regret there? You think, or not really?
But no,
No.
no. Well, I think it's a double-edged sword because that particular what we did, our expertise area. Remember, we sold for 50 million. You move the ball to where we're at now, almost 7 years later to the day. They're running $280 million in that special operations group, and it's just our template exactly how we did it. But they, Allied Universal is who purchased Point to Point Global Security. They're the largest security company on the globe.
Mm,
Okay. Largest one. And I think when you get bought out by the biggest, I think it's two things. I think it's, man, you guys built something great because if the number one in the industry wants you, yeah, that's something to be real proud of. And I think it really kind of depends on each person. I always tell people, and from my experience, buy a business, build it, and then sell it. Scale it and sell it.
yeah.
Start a business, scale it and sell it. Because unless you just want to work till you're 93 overseeing something, there's a ton of stuff that you can do. And you see what I do. It might not be what something that you would want to do, but I go out and eat at a new restaurant every day. That's my thing. And I go to some, pretty far places just to eat lunch. And I enjoy, finding some history along the way. So for me, it was the right time in life, man. I'm glad. I miss the old days, but I also think it's important to get out while you're on top. We were at
Hmm.
the top of our game when we sold. Man, I'm going to tell you, there's a lot to be said instead of being the guy that was at the top, got drugged through the mud for a long time, barely made it back out. I think for us, and I'm speaking for me and Stephanie, I think she sold at the right time. We see what we built and what they've taken it to the next level. I think it's uh I think it's good myself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100. So I've sold, I sold my security company before I moved to Texas. My own, and then it was a small company. It wasn't no point to point, of course, but uh, some of the stuff that we did back then, though, that was like before everybody had cell phones and well, and I wouldn't say cell phones, but cameras in their pockets and stuff, right? So it's like, it's probably better that we got out of that when we did
Yeah,
because I mean we were in some rough clubs, some rough neighborhoods, and not that we did anything stupid, but we did some stupid stuff, and I'm kind of glad. Yeah, some of my guys, I don't
sure.
think we probably been sued. But then the limo company, insurance has gone crazy. And when you talk about sell at a high point, that's actually honestly what we did, and it gave us a leg up, right? Because when you sell when you're desperate, it's never good. You're never going to get anywhere near what you want to get out of it. So to be able to sell, we went through the worst of times, right, during COVID. And luckily, when COVID rebounded, we were able to have the best year ever, like record year and a half, 2 years almost. And then that's when we
Yeah.
sold. And so we used that to kind of we don't want to go through that again. But insurance has gone. When you talked about insurance, has gone crazy expensive in that industry. It's getting really expensive in this industry too. But I've learned kind of like what you said earlier too. But
Sure.
I've learned that every decision that I make now in this business is with an exit in mind. 100%.
Hmm. Yeah, and you think about it, you build something and somebody else wants to buy it. That's an automatic pat on your back too, because you built something that's scalable and sellable. And man, I'm telling you, it's for me, it's a great feeling to know that like the command center that I originally started now is knocking out 280 million.
That's insane.
That's pretty great. Yeah, it's pretty great. It really is.
So I got a question from the Magnate guys. Magnate Pro SEO. These guys are like literally one of our partners in throwing the Dumpster Expo. They've done all the media stuff for us. They're awesome. But their question is, how has your perception changed about the dumpster rental industry since getting involved with the Dumpster Expo? And did anything surprise you about the first event compared to last year's? Did you freeze? Did I freeze? Uh oh.
Hey, you froze up.
I'm back. Did you hear the question or no? Oh no.
You're worse.
Oh no. That's not good. Let me text him the.
I I think I understood the gist of it. I'll tell you my perception of the dump business. Um, I didn't really have a perception, but I did need a dumpster one time, and I called a guy because this is like 2017, so this is a while back, 9 years ago, and he said, "Man, Mr. Love, I can't deliver." This was back then. He said, "I can't deliver one of my dumpsters to that city." At the time, I lived in Hearst. It had to come from Waste Management. I said, "What?" That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard because we're free business in America, right? How can you have these? How can you have these zones set up? And basically, he said, "Man, I'll get fined." And it's funny, when I saw you file that, I thought that guy's passed away now, but I always maintained a good friendship and relationship with him. And I'm thinking, man, think of all the business that doesn't get handled. It's funneled to somebody, and I think that that's wrong. But I'll tell you this: I didn't realize that. The average person thinks you throw it in a dumpster and it just goes wherever, and it's just that's it. There's a lot of steps to the dumpster business that I've learned just being involved with um, the expo and then getting to know a lot of these people. There's a lot of work involved in it, man.
Yeah, what's funny is hopefully you can hear me. What's funny is
Yeah,
I was never even at a land. I'd never even been to a landfill. Like back in Milwaukee, if I went to throw something away, it was just a small little transfer station. My first time ever being in the landfill was when I rented my first dumpster, and that was eye opening. Just how massive these landfills are here in DFW. I mean, you're driving for sometimes 10 minutes just to get to the working face to dump your trash. Sometimes it's at least a mile or two
yeah,
in proper. So, but they're all owned by Waste Management Republic. City of Dallas only owns one landfill
yeah,
here in
yeah,
DFW, which is crazy. And the second part
yeah.
of his question was, did anything
That
surprise
is
you
crazy.
from? Did anything surprise you about the first event compared to last year's? Did anything surprise you from the first
You
event
have to
to
say that
last?
again.
Did anything surprise you from the first event to last year's?
Yes. Yeah. So the first event was great. And I think what surprised me the most is how nice everybody is. They're not your competition. They're actually someone you can outsource work to.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people look at that the wrong way, or at least I did going into this. And I thought, nah, it's no different than what we did in security. I'm outsourcing to 30 companies in a given time just in one area, and it's I think it changed my mindset from this isn't competition. This is a lot like what you already know, the area of security. This is more like a networking group and product expo, and also motivation, and you only know what you know in business. And boy, all you got to do is bring an expert to the table, and you listen to them and you think, man, I could have really screwed up and wasted a lot of money by listening to this one person. And I've learned a lot from Ronnie Knuckles. Just different guys, but Ronnie's a good example. He's talking about, of course, I don't sell nothing anymore. All I do is just have fun. But I listen to some of the stuff and some of the things that I've seen him show and implement to other people, and it works. And I think that that's a blessing for networking. It really, really is.
I think Ronnie Knuckles just has a cool name, and that's why you remember his name so well.
Yeah, how would you like to have to try to date a guy's daughter and their last name is Knuckles, and you got to go meet this guy? Man, I think that'd be concerning.
There you go.
That'd be
I
real
don't think you'll be
concerning.
worried about anybody though. I think you're good.
I do like him. I
Man,
do like him. I think he's such a great guy. I really do.
definitely. What's next for Eric Love, Big Juicy? What's next for you, man? What do you got planned down the road? What is something you're looking forward to?
So I'll tell you something. I'm filming a project right now. Of course, I've been doing different projects. I'm filming a project on forgiveness, and it kind of happened at the right time for me. And it looks like Netflix will probably buy it. They've been involved to a certain degree on me putting this project together. And like an example, I have a hard time forgiving my brother because he will not help out financially with older parents. And it about 7 years into it, okay? There's a man, and I met him through a friend. The guy said he wanted to thank me for holding a sign up during a criminal court case in Fort Worth. And this man, his granddaughter, suffered the worst imaginable um, fate. Okay. Highly publicized at the beginning of this year. It was moved from Wise County to Tarrant County. And Mark Strand is Athena Strand's grandfather. And he said, I want to be a part of your project forgiveness. And this man is a man of faith. He's a wonderful human. He has forgiven the person that took his granddaughter's life.
Hmm.
Remember, I can't even forgive my brother over financial issues. So I think God's working with me on this project a lot. But I'm doing that project. I'm going out to Lexington, Kentucky. That's where they moved the Tiger King, Joe Exotic. Um, I talked to him today on the phone 2 times actually. And, we're kind of preparing for at some point he will be released. So, what does that look like? I'm going to basically be his keeper. I've got some fun stuff, in the works. And, don't stop living life. I say that all the time. I see so many people that don't even enjoy their life. And man, I think my biggest word to everybody is get out and enjoy life. Find something you do, find something you can enjoy. And they said, well, we don't have any money. Well, I didn't either for most of my life. And I found plenty of stuff to do. And there's stuff that you can do. So that's kind of what I'm doing, man. I'm just enjoying, I got two new grandsons that are going to be real fun in about another 2 years, year and a half.
Yeah, they take a minute.
Um, it's going to take a little bit. I got to get a little weight on them, but that's going to be a fun next stage of life. And I'm doing a lot of philanthropy. And man, I think at the end of the day, leave your mark, whatever it is, what philanthropy, whatever. Leave your mark. That's what I'm trying to work on.
Love it. Love it. Eric, man, I appreciate you being here, brother. We're gonna go ahead and call it. I've taken up enough of your time, man. But I am excited as always. Next time you're flying a helicopter, swing on by the new shop or the shop I have now. Last time you flew over my old limo shop, it's been about 6 7 years since you did that.
Dude, that was so fun. I said, but back then you were heavier. I said, man, I can see Big Josh from up here. Look at that. Man, we had the best time back then. We really did.
Yeah, you give me a
We
call.
really
You're like,
did.
hey,
Man,
Josh, step outside
thank
for a
you for
minute.
having me on. I really look forward. Yeah, Big Josh. It's good stuff. You're a great friend. I'm really loving what you're doing, and look forward to the expo.
Thanks, man. We'll see you in September, brother. Have a good night.
See ya. You too.